Hi, welcome back to the Social Club. In this episode, we're going to ask a simple question. Who's going to win the Premier League? We've seen it this year. It's close. You know, a whole host of clubs battling it out to try and win the Premier League. You got Man City up there, Arsenal up there, Leicester, the surprise package. Tottenham are coming up. And even clubs underneath there like Manchester United and people like that, Liverpool even. You know, they're not giving up, are they? They've still got a chance.
I'd give up on that
if they were to go on an amazing run. So I want to ask you guys, who do you think will win the Premier League? I'm going to start off with Chris.
Oh, this is harsh because, you know, we talked before about same old Arsenal, didn't we? And I think Arsenal are in the best position to win the Premier League this season. I think if somebody else wins it, it'll be because Arsenal bottled it. I think that's fair to say.
Why do you think Arsenal? Why would you say they're in the best position to win it?
Because I just feel like Arsenal are a club that I really respect. I know Barry feels the same on this. I think the way that you've built the club and that you haven't sort of bowed to peer pressure in when everybody else starts spending money, you've got a clear plan in place. You know, Wenger had to take the side and not spend a lot of money when you were building the stadium. I just like the way Arsenal's running. If there was any club in the Premier League that Liverpool was run like, I'd want it to be Arsenal because there's a safety net there. You know exactly what you're all aiming for. I think it's a brilliantly ran club from top to bottom. And I think that actually from the sort of curve that you've been on, I think you deserve to win it because I think while everyone else has gone out and blown fucking millions and millions, Arsenal kept plodding on, believe that what they're doing is the right thing to do. I think Man City have got too many ups and down games and just far too many. I think they're actually the new bottlers right now. I think they should have walked the league for probably the last 4 years, and the fact that they've only won it twice in that time says a lot. Leicester City, I just can't see them winning the league, and Tottenham.
You're right up there, Leicester.
Oh no, of course, well, they're ahead, 3 points ahead.
You know what, right? People will be writing off Leicester, and before Christmas, everyone's like, they were top at Christmas. Now we're going into February, they're still top. They keep producing.
Look, they can win the league, but I don't think they will. I think that's what it's about now. I think, you know, I've watched this show so many times, and so many people have said, they just need an injury to Vardy or Mahrez and something like that. And I think that's the difference, is that you guys have dealt with injuries as Arsenal all season long, and you're still there or thereabouts. I think if Leicester take a big injury, which is going to happen at some point to somebody, I would guess, then they'll drop off. I think if Tottenham get a big injury, to like a Harry Kane or something, how do they recover from it? Whereas you guys have got this winning mentality, and Wenger's built it this season where it doesn't matter, we're still going to grind out the results. I think that's why you're a better position.
Okay, what about you, James? Who you know, lots of clubs battling out. It's too close to call at the moment.
I desperately want Leicester to win the league because I think it's a great story. And you talk about injuries, and I think the law of averages says that, they probably will get one, but they might not. Might not get one.
And even when
they are still there, they are 3 points clear.
Thinking about it, the other day when they brought in, you know, sort of the sort of second tier team when they played against Tottenham away in the FA Cup.
Should have won that game, yeah.
They should have won that game. I mean, and you know, they had some pretty decent players in their second string as well.
I think the next 3 games are massive for them if they can kind of still be in the hunt after that. I think is it Liverpool at home, Arsenal away, Man City away. Really, really difficult. But the way they play, it doesn't matter if they're at home.
They can
or
get
away,
results against anyone, can't
exactly,
they?
because they don't overly need momentum, because the way they get momentum is just by harrying and attacking in a quick way, getting the ball to Albrighton, getting the ball in the box and committing men forward. So why not? Why can't
and they're not going to have.
It'd be great if they did.
And they're not going to have no Champions League games to worry about.
They've got 15 games.
They're not going to have no FA Cup games to worry about. They can just make a full assault. They can be fresh every week to go and just assault that Premier League, can't they?
Exactly. So I think, and that can stop maybe injuries happening through tiredness. I mean, how many hamstring injuries have there been this season? I mean,
all of them at Liverpool.
And
literally all of the hamstring injuries.
I don't know, we've had about 6.
And Arsenal as well.
So I mean, the question is, who will win the Premier League? I think Arsenal will win the Premier League.
I've never seen so many people say Arsenal.
I want Leicester to win it.
Okay, Baz, what about you?
I think Chris just basically looked into my mind and took everything I was going to say about Arsenal word for word. I mean, I agree with James, you know, it'd be fantastic.
Really unusual that we agree on football.
Very unusual.
It's making me feel uncomfortable a bit.
I think with
the really
James has said everything about Leicester, that's right, you know, be great for football. They've been fantastic. And the thing what Leicester do better than any other team is they work hard. They're a fantastically hard-working side. I'm like Chris, I don't think they will win it. I think they will tail off because I just think they're just underneath, the rest, the likes of Arsenal, City. But I think, what I do think, and I didn't think this in about November, but I think it'll take a lot for them not to finish top 4 now.
Well, they're 10 points ahead of 5th.
And
so I think they're in the Champions League.
And so if they get in the Champions League, that's an unbelievable story.
Sort of on that subject. You're an Everton fan, you're a Liverpool fan, of course. Does that frustrate you, the fact that if you look at a team like Leicester, that's got less resources than you, haven't got as good players as both of your teams, that they have got a fantastic chance of getting, I mean, they're top of the league, chance to win the title, chance of definitely getting the top 4. Does that frustrate you? Because if you look player for player, you've got a better team than Leicester. So why are Everton not up there?
We don't work hard enough. Manager can't identify things that Ranieri can. And listen, the thing about Leicester is this isn't just this season. Look at it. I think they've only lost 4 games in a year. Really? It started, Nigel Pearson started this last January. I think it's 4 league games in a year, which is an incredible amount. It's unbelievable. So they're there on merit and they deserve to be there. They've been fabulous. Of course it frustrates us, but the league doesn't lie. I can sit here and bemoan 23 games in, never been given a penalty. Things like that. I can bemoan injuries. I can bemoan 11 draws. I can bemoan Everton dominating a lot of the games they played, not winning. But the fact is results. Leicester have got the results, Everton haven't. They fully deserve to be there. We don't. We're where we are.
Same question for you, because, I mean, look at the talent you guys have got. They've got guys like Danny Drinkwater. They've got, Albright and honest professionals. But they're just doing the business. And do you look on it and you think to yourself, with all the money that Liverpool have spent, how can it be that Leicester are so far ahead of you and are producing it week after week?
But I agree with everything that Baz has said, to be honest, and literally word for word, right? So I'm gonna try and take a little bit.
You're gonna have to have a combined Liverpool-Everton team. I know. Share the same stadium. You agree with everything?
No. Look, I'm gonna take a little different view because I'm quite bitter about it. I don't want Leicester to win the league.
That's what I wanted to ask you, Robbie. How would you feel if Leicester win the league instead of Arsenal? Is that worse than Man City winning it?
That's embarrassing for a big club. Like what Liverpool have done, where they've spent so much fucking money. It just says to me that we've always had the wrong people in the job, like for the last 10 years.
But does it just show that football's brilliant?
For me, if Arsenal didn't win it, I would like Leicester to win it, rather than Man City, because I think it would be great for football. Why does it always have to be the club that just chucks loads of money at it that wins it?
That gives
it could have been us in 13-14, Robbie. We could have been Leicester. That's the problem, mate. We didn't fucking do it. That's why I don't want the fuckers to win the league.
Calm down. Listen, you shouldn't be bitter over it, because it should make you look and think, right, it's been done and we could do it. That's the way I would look at it. Going back to your original question about 11 minutes ago.
All right.
I actually think Arsenal will win it, and I want Arsenal to win it. Obviously if Leicester won it, you go. What an achievement, but I want Arsenal to win it. And I want them to win it because, like Chris said, they run correctly. They've done things in the right way. Wenger's done an unbelievable job for me. People slag him off, and it's unreal. It's unreal he gets any stick. Year after year, Champions League, out the group stages, 2 trophies on the... We can only win 3 trophies in this country, and for the last 2 years, Arsenal won 1 of the 3.
When you think how much money's been spent by other clubs.
Exactly, unbelievable amounts of money. Moved from Highbury, which I loved going to, into a big shiny new stadium. Didn't have the resources, but just kept them ticking along, brought players through, developed. Every club should aspire to be Arsenal, every club, because everything they do is correct. And so I want to see that rewarded by becoming league champions. No, but
he's buzzing. He's buzzing.
No, but I'm saying that's the way it is. Other teams have come along and Liverpool spent a lot of money and haven't had that. Tottenham has spent a hell of a lot of money and haven't got near to Arsenal. The other year they think the wheels fell off near the end and they're still bitter about that. Chelsea have thrown all kinds of money to get where they are. So have Manchester United. So have Manchester City. Arsenal just kept ticking along and have outstretched everybody all of those clubs, Arsenal have outseen everybody in terms of maintaining their top 4 status. Yes, Manchester United have won leagues and things like that. Arsenal have done it and still maintained it, developed, built a stadium, still maintained the level
And
of
how many
success.
of those players have come through the ranks as well? A lot.
For me,
it's a lovely
no-brainer.
So, Robbie, who do you think's going to win the league?
Who do I think's going to win the league?
This week, so you've got to be diplomatic and pick someone else.
I'm trying to be diplomatic. Listen,
Tottenham? Spurs?
I don't think Spurs will win it. No,
They could though. They could.
They could win it. They could. They're only.
fucking side.
They're only.
But I
They're
just
only. Listen, Tottenham are only 2 points behind us, so of course they can win it. Of course Leicester could win it. Of course, Arsenal can win it, and City. I think it's gonna though. I think that I just got that feeling that when it starts coming down to the crunch time, so it's like the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, bit like when you guys went through it, where you start to get those games where
Have you picked the fixture yet that you think we could win the league here? Is there one at the end of the season?
We play Man City second to last game of the season. So
nice.
that
Is there
could be
anywhere
the
you've
punch.
looked and seen Kristen Bull that you're worried about?
Sorry?
Is there anywhere you've looked and thought that could be our
It
Kristen
could be.
Bull?
No, what I'm saying is, right,
Took the 2 games to get that one.
Look at his face.
what I'm saying basically is that, you know,
Hiya, Tom.
you get to a part of the season where it's a crunch time, where Alex Ferguson used to say squeaky bum time, and when it's that, even if you slip up once, you're gone. And I think that is where...
Did he mean that? Did he fucking mean that? He didn't even fucking mean
I'm trying to
it,
be
did he?
neutral today. I didn't actually
He didn't
mean
even
it that way.
smirk when he said it.
But you know what I mean. And I think that could be where you have some problems for Leicester and Tottenham around about those times. But who knows? Listen, what do you guys think?
Hang on. Before you do that, I just want to go back to that slip.
I've got another
No, I was going to say that season with Liverpool, that we were in a little thing with you for the
That's right, for
the
fourth
top
place,
4,
yeah.
and we beat you at Goodison and went above you, and it was that it looked like Everton are there. We had Palace at home on the Wednesday, and we had United at home on the Sunday. Palace come and beat us. We then spanked the Manx, which is always lovely. But then Everton didn't have that little bit of bottle just to go down to Southampton and get a result.
It's very tough,
hard
when
on
and
those
teams
last
teams know that when you're coming, they know your situation. So they're like, you know what, we're just going to park the bus.
Yeah.
You lot come, and then they know that you're so on edge that you cannot afford to make any mistake.
That's why I think Arsenal the better equipped than anyone.
Yeah,
that year when we were ahead, you just went into, I remember you beating West Ham on you went behind against West Ham and beat them, and he just rolled the results out. And that's why I think...
Yeah,
and they do it every year. They go on a run at the end.
And we're used to it, and that's where I think Leicester will have the problems, because they've never really been in that before. Teams are not going to treat them like this happy-go-lucky club no more. They're going to be like, oh, well, you know what, we need to survive. Because remember, that's the other scenario. You've got clubs you're playing that need to survive. So it becomes a different ball game. And that's where I think they'll fall away. But listen, what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win the Premier League? It's a brilliant Premier League this season. I don't buy into what people have been saying about it's not a great league because you've seen some of the other bigger clubs slip. It's brilliant. It's so even. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Don't forget, transfer deadline day. We're going to be doing a special event on deadline day. Forget about Sky and all them yellow ties and all that. Right here on Ball Street. All the fan channels are going to be involved. Redmen TV representing Liverpool, Toffee TV representing Everton, Arsenal Fan TV will be there. Lots of fans and different podcast guys and all that. You've really got to check that out. And make sure you subscribe to the Ball Street.
You're in for a treat when you subscribe to Ball Street.
Ball Street channel, sub now.